Hey guys, welcome to Macmerize. So, a lot of Apple products are very costly and we deal with a lot of Apple products. So, that is exactly the reason why we thought of doing this video, right? Generally, the idea is that Apple products are very costly, especially when you talk about products like the iPad. But the truth is that there is an iPad available that even students can buy for their classes or note taking or productivity or whatever it is. What is this iPad I'm talking about? And mind you, this is not some old iPad that is used or resold, right? This is a brand new iPad that was just released in 2021. I'm talking about the iPad 9th Gen. This is the iPad I'm talking about. And yes, a lot of people are going to have some issues with this iPad. But for most people, let me give you a spoiler, this is perfectly amazing. Now, let's get into the depth and find out why this is so amazing. First and foremost, let's talk about the design and build of this iPad, right? So most of the times when you look at tablets either have a very nice build or a very shoddy build. The iPad Gen 9 comes with a very nice build. As you can see, it looks premium, it feels premium, and the build is tough, and you have faith in your device that okay, this is not going to break easily. Moreover, when you look in front, you're going to realize that the design is pretty old considering the newer iPads. And that is true. The design seems old. But obviously, if you look at the price tag, which I'm going to tell you in a minute, right? This seems like a very, very viable option. So this is a 10.2 inch screen. Now this 10.2 inch screen is 500 nits bright at its maximum brightness, which is plenty bright for most people and their tablet use, right? Moreover, there's a fingerprint sensor on the home button and you can easily access your iPad using that. As you can see, I just did that. And the colors are bright. It looks very, very nice. When you turn it around, you're going to find an 8 megapixel camera on the back. Now, this is a fairly decent camera. I will not call it the best, but we're going to discuss that later in much more detail. On the front, you're also going to find a 12 megapixel camera with center stage capability. Again, we're going to discuss that. Another very, very important thing about the build is the headphone jack. A lot of people will be happy with this because when you talk about the budget segment or a slightly higher than budget segment, the headphone jack plays a very important role. Every time if you need to purchase a Bluetooth earphone, it's going to be very difficult. But if you can already use your wired headphones with this tablet, your life is going to be pretty easy. And Apple has ensured that with this tablet, that happens. On the side, you can find the volume rockers. On the top, there's a power button, right? And on the bottom, there are two speakers. Now, both these speakers work. It's not just a grill and speaker. Both these speakers work. And there's sadly a lightning port, right? So now that we have the design and build out of the way, let's talk about the display in detail. Now, why is display such an important part? Because if you look at the display, you're going to realize that the bezels are pretty thick, right? When you compare the same with an iPad Air or let's say the latest iPad Pro, you're going to realize the bezels are really thick. But there is a good side to this too. Even though the bezels are thick, these thick bezels are going to allow you to hold your tablet very, very easily when you're watching a movie or when you're playing games, right? Moreover, this to a certain degree is confidence inspiring. You know that, it is a tough build. You know that it is going to last, right? Another thing that is good is this home button. So honestly speaking, a lot of people don't like the home button on the front of this iPad because, it really obstructs that futuristic, bezel-less look. But to be very honest, this provides me with such ease that it's awesome, right? Other than that, the display is really, really bright. The display is really clear, clean. Moreover, the color is pretty good. Yes, obviously the color accuracy is not as much as the costlier versions of iPad. But if you're not doing professional videography or professional photography, it will sail your boat. You don't have to worry about that. Now that we have the display out of the way, let's talk about the software. Software wise, I think at 30,000, this is one of the best tablets you can get in the entire world because At 30,000, this provides you with a beautifully seamless experience. Okay, so when you talk about iOS, iPad OS, you see that there is so much seamlessness and so much smoothness that you don't realize that the display is just 60 hertz and not 120 hertz, right? It is plenty smooth, apps open pretty fast, everything works well. I'm yet to face any bugs. So software wise, kudos to Apple. They have really come a long way. Yeah, and moreover, multitasking is also supported here, and the multitasking is so beautifully done up that the ease of use is absolutely amazing, right? It is so easy to multitask, it's so easy to be more productive with an iPad that it's amazing, right? While we are on this subject, you must understand that you can also take notes on your iPad using an Apple Pencil Gen 1, right? It does not support the Gen 2, but even with Gen 1, the experience is pretty amazing, right? Now talking about the cameras is somewhere where the iPad to a certain degree has its limitations, because the back camera is not very powerful. Let me show it to you. So when you go to the camera, you're going to see that it is too grainy, it's not up to the mark. Let me put it in the square format. As you can see, still very grainy. When you actually use the front camera, you're going to realize the quality. Now, as far as the front camera goes, the quality is very nice, right? And the angle is so wide, it is so wide, it's crazy. Now, this is how center stage, works. Because the camera is so wide, you're always in the frame, right? So that is something that is again very awesome with the iPad, right? Let's come to a major question. If you purchase this, what are the differences that you're going to feel when you compare it to the costlier versions? One, obviously this costs 30,000 rupees or $300 US price, and obviously you're going to feel a bigger pinch if you get the higher priced versions. This is not a fully laminated display, so when you're working with a pencil, you're going to see the the difference between the screen and where your pencil is touching. The surface is not one and the same. In a fully laminated display, the display, all layers are merged together, right? So when you put the pencil on, it's actually like you're directly interacting with screen. Here you feel that there is a layer above the screen. So that is something you're going to find. Obviously the bezel-less display, that is something that is different. On the back, you're going to find the change. Here you have a curved back. You have these curved edges. With the newer or the costlier iPads, you're going to find the edges are sharp, right? They're squarish. So that is something that is a huge difference. As far as the features go, there aren't that big of differences in features, except for the iPad Pro, where you get the M1 chip, which is extremely powerful. The cameras are also very powerful, right? And another difference that is there is here you get both the speakers downwards, whereas there one speaker is on top and one speaker is on the bottom. So when you are in landscape, you're going to get a proper surround on those iPads when compared to this. Now, the sound here is not bad, but it's nowhere near the way those iPads sound, right? So as far as we are on the sound quality, let me just simply take you through it. Let me play a song so that you can understand how the sound is on this iPad. Yeah, so as far as the sound goes, this sounds exceptionally awesome. Connectivity wise, there are things that we need to discuss. At this price point, you're not going to get 5G connectivity with the iPad 9 Gen. You're also getting comparatively slower Wi-Fi when compared to the costlier variants, which is obviously fine. If you want to use your SIM card, the base variant is only Wi-Fi. It does not support SIM cards and you have to pay extra to get the LTE variant, right? So yes, now we're coming to a verdict. We're coming to a final judgment on whether you should buy this or not. And I gave you a spoiler right at the start. You should totally buy this. Why? Because at 30,000, this makes more sense than any other gadget that you can purchase. You can be extremely productive, right? You can easily take notes, take your online classes or whatever you want to do. If you want to make presentations, you can make them on this so easily and on the fly that it's amazing. Moreover, the battery here lasts all day. That's right, the battery here lasts all day no matter how much you strain it out. And performance wise, there's obviously no stutter or no lag. So in totality, I would probably suggest everyone to go for this iPad. While you're going for this iPad, make sure that you check out Macmerize's section of all Apple products that we provide, because, well, if you know Macmerize, you know that our Apple products or Apple accessories are amazing, right? So go check them out. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.